Oh fuck, I edited it wrong. What's up, beauties? While experimenting with Cheat Engine, I discovered that it allows you to teleport you to any bonfire in the game from the start. Then I got a huge idea. What if you could beat the game in reverse? What? In gaming, there's a concept called difficulty curves. They describe how difficulty in a video game should evolve to keep a sense of progression and fun. Normally, they should be like this. But what if we flip it on its head? I mean, it really just becomes what you see. This video is not your normal run. It is very specific and scuffed. So, grab a snack, a drink, and enjoy this mess. Also, only a small percentage of you subscribe, so please do have a family and kids to feed. Thanks, bye. Please don't dislike, bye. Before the run begins, let me explain what I mean. Since we are beating the game in reverse boss order, we start at the canonically last boss of the game, Gael, and must end with the first one, Gandir. Only that way we can complete the run. Furthermore, we must defeat the area boss first before we can explore the area, since we are playing in reverse. Since Dark Souls 3 is not interconnected as Dark Souls 1, it is actually impossible to beat the game completely in reverse if we start at the last bonfire of some areas. DS3's areas are not made to be explored in reverse, since sometimes we need to cheat to get past certain barriers. For example, we cannot enter a boss fog wall from the other unintended side. Until this day I still shame the developers for not counting in players who want to beat the game backwards. How could they not account for that? Stupid. Our progression will be halted a lot, but I also want to see how much of the game is actually beatable when playing reverse. So I'll only cheat if needed. We start at level 1 with the Deprived and can only level up 5 points after each boss to avoid overleveling but still keep a sense of progression. And for that I also granted myself Firelink Shrine access from the get-go. To also keep the run varied, I thought it would be fun to always use a different weapon for each boss. Technically we cannot upgrade our weapons, since in the late game areas there are no small Titanite shards. So to keep my sanity I will just always keep my weapons maxed. I will grant me this luxury at least. I'll just say Gael one-shots us. And one other thing I noticed and felt is we cannot increase our Estus. For Andre to enhance our Estus count we have to have the Ashen Estus flask. The problem is we can only get it after Gandir. Yeah, we are f***ed. We can still use bone shards, but this run was a mistake. Still with me? Let's just start the run, I guess. Gael is canonically the last being in Lordran, so he will be our first victim. I wish he were a victim. Actually we are. So we start at level 1 against Gael without charms but with a max weapon, but still level 1. The damage we do isn't the lowest, but the problem is that Gael one-shots us. Matter of fact, every attack in his first phase one-shots us. Even with the life ring starting gift. Plus 3 he still one-shots us, so we have to flawless the first phase. The problem though is Gael is chonky as fuck. The first phase takes around about 4 minutes, so yeah, that'll be stressful. After about 3 hours of just dying mainly to his first phase, I rarely reached the second phase. And the third one, yeah, never reached it. So I explored Firelink Shrine. Gandir is the boss of the Cemetery of Ash, not of Firelink. Thus I allow myself to prepare as best as I can in Firelink, but our options are very limited. I of course did the tree skip and got the Estus shard and the Serpent ring. Both of these items are useless. The Serpent ring increases our soul gain, doesn't help us at all. And the Estus shards, as mentioned earlier, we cannot use it. While enjoying the fresh air from above, I decided to make illegal deals with Pumperum, but I could only trade a homeward bone and he gave me a weird bracelet. I mean, at least something, I guess. So birds cannot be trusted. Let's try trusting in women. The handmaiden sells the dagger, sword short and the halberd and the torch. But for that we need a few souls, so I killed the former Abyss Watcher who gave me 1000 souls. Then I killed the Uchigatana guy, or rather used my intelligence to beat him, gaining me another 2000 souls. After reloading the game we can also pick up the Uchigatana, which would be nice against Gael, but we lack the stats to use it. Sucks. It has bleeding. With these souls we buy a few weapons. We can only use the short sword and the dagger. I tasted both and came to the following conclusion. Dagger is swagger, yeah. Haha, yeah, I'm using the dagger, not because it hurts me, it helps me no matter. Not because of its damage output, its attacks are quick and fast, so fast you couldn't look. I don't mean to lean on this fame, Gael sweeps us clean, one hit and it's game. In the end, what do I want to feel? I think it's Gael, he needs to kneel. The dagger does only 77 damage, but it's so fast that we realistically deal around 200 plus damage per opening. The dagger also has way more openings and I don't have to think as much when attacking. With the club I always either had a 1-hit opening or a 2-hit opening. 3 hits were really rare and most of the time when I went for 3 hits, I died. But with the dagger we can just put out damage and don't have to worry about not having an opening. Furthermore, the dagger uses way less stamina, so I don't always have to manage my low stamina as much. What you can also do with the dagger is poke, wait, We recover stamina so fast we can just attack forever if we wait a little, so we pretty much always have enough stamina. I also try to maybe tank a hit with this chainmail armor, but... no chance. Gael just bonks too hard. So the armor is irrelevant, the ring too, and so are Estes. Gael almost always starts with a dash grab attack. Always dodge with him so you can land a charged attack or many light ones. If you don't always pay attention to Gael, he'll hit hard. And it is easy to lose attention since he isn't a boss that necessarily wants to die. Gael also has this Dark Souls 2 attack side sweep. Sometimes he just sweeps once, but other times he sweeps twice. You could just play safe and always dodge as if the second attack is coming, but what I did is watch him, because if you always play 100% safe, the fight just drags. You need to make every opening count and deal as much damage as possible. After Gael loses a bit of HP, he can do his signature combo. I don't roll this attack if I don't need to. If you are already far away, you can just run away. If you are before him, you can run to his right, behind him, and also be safe. Only roll it when you are against the wall, then maybe, but when you run away you always have to dodge his finisher. After about 4 hours of trying, I reached phase 2 for the first time. Remember, we have to hitless his first phase to even get a chance at a second phase. Phase 2 is the part where my pulse rises. Before phase 2 it wasn't important which way I roll. I could just iframe his attacks in any direction I want. But now Gael has this stylish cape. His cape is designed to punish bad timed rolls, like every attack, but now direction is more important than ever. If we time the roll right, but dodge in the wrong direction, we get hit by his cape. Luckily though, his cap doesn't one-hit us, so I can get hit 4 times by his cape only. His bow attack is easy to dodge and almost never hits me, usually. In some attempts I just don't get hit by the bow at all, in other attempts it just completely ruins the run. Oh, fish. Oh. The bow is actually infuriating. If Gael does his Sir Gideon suck near magic attack, I roll in and just don't attack. It is too unpredictable for me. I just can't take risks if one mistake leads to death after already fighting Gael for 6+ minutes. So sometimes you see me just not attacking if I'm not sure to have an opening. It's better to not attack than to attack and die. Our dagger does 70 damage flat. Gael has 15,000 HP, so we would need to hit him over 210 times to win. Luckily our dagger is really fast, and when we get one good opening we do more like 420 damage. After 7 hours, I start reaching the third phase, and my pulse just explodes and my facial expression changes instantly every time I get here. If I had a face cam, I would show you my pure, concentrated face. Phase 3 is phase 2, but with more stuff. He now has this one magic attack from Elden Ring and can now jump super high and extend his combos. If you already know my videos, you probably know that I rage a lot, but this time I didn't. I'm 8 hours in now and I'm not mad at all. I'm actually glad that I'm doing this, since it really shows me how good of a fight Gael is. He is now my second favorite fight in all of Dark Souls 3. I still like Midir more. And there goes another 8 hours of smashing my empty head against Gael with no victory in sight. After all this time I started to really get mad. Was für ein Bullshit! Seine Magie! Ernsthaft? Ernsthaft? Ja. Wahrscheinlich, oder? Seine Magie! Wegen seiner Magie! Ja, geil! Oh, so ein geiler Boss, wirklich. Boah. Nice. Lass es für immer weitergehen. Wie immer. Dafür liebe ich es. So unnormal Spaß. Mir fällt einfach nicht. Welp, so much for staying calm, I guess. Everybody breaks at some point. And then, after 16 hours of trying, this happened. Ja, 16 Stunden und 20 Minuten. We managed to beat him. For the next 5 minutes I was a fucking wreck, shaking and unresponsive. By far the most difficult thing I've done. By far. The final attempt took 9 minutes and I will post it on my archive channel. Link will be in the description. Now we can finally continue our challenge. The next boss would be either Half-Light or Midir. I tried Half-Light after putting our first 5 points into HP, but realizing that smashing my controller isn't worth it, I decided to kill Midir only. To put things into perspective, I despise Half-Light so much that I'd rather fight Gael again for 16 hours and hitless Midir. Half-Light is as infuriating as Godskin Duo, and we don't talk about Godskin Duo, so yeah, fuck him. I count Midir to be the area boss of the Ringed City, so after Midir's gone, I'll explore the entire Ringed City. At first I tried beating him with the club, but later realized that the short sword is better. It has more range, making hitting Midir's movie heads more consistent. The charged heavy attack from the short sword does also a lot of damage, and is more reliable than the heavy from the club. Midir pretty much one-shots us, even after our HP level up. The only attacks we can get hit by once is sometimes his claw sweep and when we are just lucky. Furthermore in phase 2 we can get hit by 2 of his humanity spells, but that's it. My strategy was to hit his chunky head with strong attacks almost exclusively to get a riposte earlier. At his core Midir is rather simple, and when you follow these steps to beat him he's pretty much out. His first phase laser can be easily dodged if you first stay at a distance to his fire AoE. After his laser shoots up, you directly run to his face as soon as you see these explosions to get a free attack. For his entire first phase, you always want to be before his face and either dodge in or backwards. When he reaches half HP, he will announce his second phase with his dark AoE, and then if he flies away, always do an Omega laser attack. I found out if you just ignore everything and just run past Midir to his back, his entire attack will miss. It's a Dark Eater Midir, more like Shit Eater Midir, am I right? After 4 hours of attempts, Midir took its last breath. Now we can finally explore the entire Ringed City and actually can reach everything. The nearest bonfire to Midir is this one. We can of course make our way up to the elevator, unlock the shortcut that takes us almost to the beginning of the Ringed City, and from this point on we can of course make our way past the boss summons and reach the place where the flying Uber would take us. But the only thing that is useful is the Grass Crest Ring plus 3. We put all of our points into HP and tackle the Demon Princess. Sadly we cannot reach the Demon Princess from the Ringed City on, since my flying Uber cancelled my ride, so we have to start here. The Demon Princess were infuriating. If you thought Gael or Midir took long, then you haven't fought the Demon Princess. They took every last breath of my sanity and shat on it. My tactic was like every time to drain the top health bar to trigger the easier laser demon. My weapon of choice was the club. It can trigger the riposte rather quick to speed up the fight. I've beaten them once with fire damage only, and the final attempt took over 20 minutes after 4 hours of attempts. But back then I was rather chunky and had, you know, healing. I think I don't have to remember you, we only have 3 Estes for the entire run. and can only enhance our Estus after Soul of Cinder. It is an entire different world to almost hitless a boss but have damage versus being chonky and do little damage, especially in the double boss. I don't know why I struggled so much at these little brats. The fight just takes ages. What I really don't like about this boss fight is the aggro time after when the demon from below is active and the demon of pain joins the fight. They both have no openings. So I'm basically forced to run away when both are active. And they do this a lot. I guess that's why they're calling him the demon of pain, because my body physically reacts in pain when I notice that the demon in pain is joining. But eventually their fire went out. But with them dead, we pick up the Chungus Mungus ring, making us tanky schmanky. We also put 2 points into dex and 3 into strength to prepare the next weapon we'll use. The halberd. You can buy it from the handmaiden and it does okay damage, making us ready for Soul of Emotional damage. And I have to say, he spanked me harder than Midir and the Demon Princess. This may be due to my weapon choice. The halberd is rather slow and takes a lot of stamina to wield. We can only attack once or rarely twice per opening. The first phase of Soul of Cinder was a problem. Soul of Cinder switches between different builds. The one that gave me the most trouble was all of them. Except the mage. The mage is really slow and has a lot of openings. The mage also has the alpha version from Comet Azure, where if you can get behind him, you have a lot of free openings. But the other ones were a problem. The rhythm of the greatsword phase was really hard to match with the halberd since we cannot attack first. His greatsword attack animation comes out faster than our attacks. So it happened a lot where I attacked first, but then mid our attack animation Soul of Cinder decides to attack and then there's nothing I can do. Same with the spear, it has some really nasty and fast pokies. And I'm convinced the Pyromancer has no openings, like none I swear. Phase 1 Soul of Cinder takes a lot of time. I almost never reached phase 2 with healing in hand, so I had to no-hit emotional damage. One thing that happened a lot in Soul of Cinder's fight was something that really pisses me off with Dark Souls 3's Q system. It is also the only thing that pisses me off with Dark Souls 3's mechanics. If I press the roll button, just barely too late to dodge out of the attack, then right after I take the hit and get staggered, my character just rolls right out of hit stun, resulting in another hit taken. And it is really annoying. In a normal run it wouldn't bother me at all, it also never bothered me, but when every hit I take pretty much kills me, yeah, not good. But after 5 hours of screaming, was? Politely. Oh. Soul of Cinder succumbs to the passing of time. Or to the reverse passing of time, but that would just mean that he gets younger? Let's just move on. I allocate one of our 5 hit points into dex for our next weapon, the curved sword. The rest I put into HP. The next boss will be the Twin Princes, and this is the point where I think it will get spicy and scuffed. First I tried reaching them by porting myself to the Grand Archives, but it didn't work since a key was missing, and the key only spawns after the 3 Lords of Cinder before the Twin Princes die. This contradicts with our mindset and would make it impossible to reach the Twin Princes. Next I decided to straightly teleport us into the boss arena. Normally this wouldn't work since the AI activates only after entering the boss through the fog wall, so the boss should just be standing there without the hurt box chillin'. But luckily the Twin Princes have something called a introductory cutscene. These will also trigger the boss AI, and when teleporting into their arena, the cutscene also triggers. This is very lucky since it makes the run possible. Kind of. But you probably remember that cutscenes only play once. So we normally would only have one attempt, but I still have one trick up my sleeve. Cheat Engine allows us to revive bosses, and reviving the Twin Princes, even though they are not dead, would cause them to re-trigger the cutscene. So they are beatable, in a very cursed way. I find the Twin Princes to be very straightforward and easy. Roll in, hit, roll in, hit, that's it. But the music, goddamn, listen to this. This is gold. With the Twin Princes being defeated in a completely normal way, we must make our way to the Dragonslayer Armor. Sadly, the Grand Archives are off limits for us. 1, because of our missing key, and 2, because we cannot open the door that normally would lead us into the Twin Prince arena. First, we put 1 point each into Faith and Intelligence for our next weapon, the Murky Hand Scythe. You can find it in the drag heap after falling through the ceiling behind these shelves. The other 3 points are spec into Endurance. We cannot get to the Dragonslayer Armor by using the Grand Archives bonfire, so we need to start here. From this bonfire on we can reach the Dragonslayer Armor. But we can also use the elevator shortcut that would take us to the beginning of Lothric Castle, to the Dance's Arena, and just up there is a better placed bonfire. The Dragonslayer Armor is a simple fight, but he bonks. Phase 2 is a bit annoying since we now have to watch out for those things. Pilgrim butterflies. These flies can do a lot of damage, and with our non-existing healing we really need to take care. But then again, I was ready to fight Gael for 16.5 hours, so yeah. One reason why I wanted to make this video is because I thought it was big funny. Haha, look at me playing the game wrong, lol. But another part of me was also curious. What areas can be reached if we start from somewhere else? Until now in this video we could not really access connecting areas since the DLC, which was optional but I love Gael and Midir so fight me, is in its own bubble and the end game of the base game is just a boss rush. But after the Demonslayer Armor's death we can actually reach a lot of areas without porting ourselves. If we go this way, we reach the Dance's Arena, aka the High Wall of Lothric, aka the beginning of the game. But this would just mean beating the first half of the game like normal, which is kind of lame and not in spirit of our mindset. Since the 3 Lords of Cinder areas are not really connected to each other, the progression to them is basically just a straight line. So for each Lord of Cinder I will teleport myself to them and progress backwards if I can. In the intro I mentioned difficulty curves, and this is the point in the run where the difficulty just dips. Like it dips lower than the fucking Titanic. The last part of the game was a complete joke even with our low Estes, so I will show you what happened with a little montage. I guess it is montage time. And now, to the final boss. I mean, what did you expect? So, in conclusion, can you beat Dark Souls 3 reversed? No. Not without cheats at least. But then again, no game is made with the intention to be beaten backwards. As you can see on this map I've marked every single place we cannot enter. Big barriers represent places that are completely sealed off, and these little ones represent passages we cannot enter backwards. As mentioned earlier, we can under no circumstances enter the Grand Archives. From Yorm on we can reach Irithyll Dungeon and Irithyll itself. From Aldrich we cannot enter Irithyll because of Sullivan. We can actually enter his arena, but he will just stand there without moving himself. Furthermore, we cannot reach the catacombs from Irithyll on because of the magic barrier. Then from the catacombs we could reach the Abyss Watchers, but then again, without entering through the fork wall, we wouldn't trigger the enemy AI. From Theron Keep we could reach the Road of Sacrifices, and also from the Cathedral of the Deep we could also reach the Road of Sacrifices. And last but not least, from Firelink Shrine we cannot enter the Cemetery of Ash because of Gundir's arena. I don't know what I expected when starting this run. I'm also a bit disappointed that so little of the game is actually beatable reverse, but it was fun. It was paid, but also fun. In the end, what does this information even mean? Be sure to write it in the comments below. Dislike, unsubscribe, and may you, yes you, have a beautiful day. And I thank you, sincerely, for watching. Also, recently we hit 500 subscribers. Thank you very much. We have now this channel membership thingy, which is really work in progress at the moment, but you really don't have to. It's completely optional and is only there if you want to support me making more videos, which I will do no matter how much money I make. It is just way too fun for me to do this, to make these shitty videos. So see you guys very soon with another video. I have many ideas and many weird ones, so stay tuned for that, and yeah, see you soon. Bye bye.